Hey.
You're worth it. You deserve it. You deserve to be treated as a guest of honor. The Meant for More live show with your hosts Amy Schmidt and Kristen Coffield. Let's get this party started.
Hello. How are you?
I'm so good. It's Wednesday. I love this day because I get to see your face.
It's Wednesday. You're looking awfully beautiful over there. Look at that in the groove.
I am ready for one of our guests tonight.
Amazing
Susan Feldman.
I know. How exciting is that? I'm so excited. She's just cool. She's just cool.
Rock star.
All of our guests are cool. And look at what I'm wearing. Fearless. I know. I had to, just because I saw yours. I had something else on, and I'm like, I gotta bring this up. My niece made this for me. Isn't that amazing? Yeah, I just thought it was so cool. I also have one that says "Cannonball with Confidence." So when I saw the and all of our guests are fearless tonight, so I'm pretty excited about it.
Me too. And there is nothing like a lively conversation filled with information that we all want to have, right? Because
Exactly.
I want the inside scoop on pelvic health, my pelvic floor health.
Yeah.
I want to know what the, latest and greatest fashion tip is. So
Exactly. We got the trifecta of fun. So welcome to the Meant for More live show. Every Wednesday night, we're here from 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern time. And we are so excited you're here. The best part of the show, we say every week, is not only our guests, once we can get them out of the green room, but our guests, but also just the engagement from you and hearing from where you are and where you're watching. And so introduce yourself and put it in the comments and let us know, because there's nothing better than getting to know you. So we're really excited about this tonight. It's been amazing, from week to week, how we just continue to grow and how people are just learning more and more about it. And it's just been really exciting. I'm so glad that I'm doing this with you. It's just so much fun.
me too. And I love the fact that we are both in our kitchens, and the kitchen is the heart of the home. Mm-hmm. And so when we find out, Amy from Wisconsin, when we
look at that.
She's the best.
Go Pack, go. Oh, and I know Amy. Oh, it's so fabulous. I'm so glad you're watching. Look at that. She has her little Green Bay Packer hat on. Although I do have to say, I am a huge, Wisconsin born and raised, huge Green Bay fan. But the Aaron Rodgers thing, and if he's watching tonight, because, I am a huge fan, I'm a little disappointed in Aaron, I got to say. Everybody has their own choice about this. But I think honesty and being transparent would have been a little better way to handle it. But hopefully he'll be back playing on Sunday. We will see. Oh, and look at this, Northeast Florida. Oh, yeah. It's so fun to see where everybody is. We had some Australians on. Kelly from Baltimore. We had some Australians on, I think, last week. Was it last? I don't know. All the weeks blend together, but I love it. What time would it be?
Oh, my God. We have so many great people watching tonight. And I love that we're getting women from all over the country and even some other parts of the world. This is great.
Crazy? Oh, it's so much fun. So welcome, everybody. And we're so glad that you're here. So we've got a huge show. This show runs for an hour. So we are always so excited to get started right off the bat. So one thing we like to do is a little love it or hate it, just because we love to do that. So Chrissy is behind the scenes for us. She's our amazing producer. So Chrissy, if you have that image ready to roll, look at that. Is she not the wizard?
It's like having, definitely the Wizard of Oz is behind the scenes.
It's amazing. So our love it or hate it today, and we also put this in our Facebook group, which is Meant for More Network. Love it or hate it, Black Friday. Ooh.
Okay, I'm just going to say, I hate it. I absolutely hate it. I grew up in retail. My mom had a shop. She was very well known. People still reach out to me over the holidays and they say how much shopping at her store meant to them because it was such a personal and fun and warm experience. And I feel like Black Friday is just a big gift grab. It doesn't have any of that lovely thoughtfulness. When you buy a gift, you should be thinking about it.
That's so funny because now Amy's putting up here that she loves it. We had some real mixtures in our group and some other people that had reached out and something kind of reflecting on what you're saying is people kind of miss that gratitude part of it, like really going and thinking about what they're getting for someone and that whole gift giving. I ignore Black Friday. I'd rather hang with my family. Interesting. I think it's a 50-50. I had to share a story about Black Friday. My mom, who was all of 5'3" on a good day. And, I'm about 5'4", so she was a little smaller than me and she's a very petite woman. And so she would be at armpit height, in any crowd like I am, it's like dog sniffing and armpit height. It really is. It's not a great height to be, but hey, it is what it is. And she loved Black Friday. She loved it. And I can remember I shared the story with my son last night because he wanted this.
Is it just me or did Amy freeze? And we were in the middle of a story. So I am going to jump in and say the thing about that Black Friday that I don't like is that the gifts are all kind of like big. Yeah, right, Carrie? I hate it. The gifts are all kind of like, this is a deal. You've got to get it now. And I've got to tell everybody, I'm done with my holiday shopping. I've already purchased everything. And I'll tell you why. I purchased everything ahead of time because supply chain is a huge issue. And we can't be sure whether or not we're going to be able to, buy those things closer to the holidays. So I already shopped. I do a lot of my shopping ahead of time, and I think it's just more fun that way. So under my bed is like Santa's workshop. Everything's in there. Oh, Kelly, I get you. I hate shopping in general. Hi, Amy.
I don't know. It was okay. I was talking and I was spinning, and here I am again. So you know what? Actually, I just wanted to go back to the green room, to be honest. I just wanted to go back and see. Oh, look at this. From Bay Village, Ohio. She shopped Black Friday with a friend when her kids were little in order to get the deals. Met a friend early for coffee. Would never do this. My age and my family needs nothing. All right. It is so true, right? As our kids get bigger and stuff, I mean, look at you, Kristen, you've got one married, you've got adult kids. I have young adult kids. One still in the nest, but almost ready to soar. What do they need? I don't really want to go to Best Buy and get a TV.
And what do they want? You know what they want? I'll tell you what they want. They want an all expense paid trip to a lovely place
there you go.
You pay for. And quite honestly, that's a gift for me too. So we don't need more stuff. That's how I feel.
I'm kind of the same way. Money, there you go. Money. The kids want money or gas cards or whatever. So love it or hate it. So please go to our Facebook group, Men for More Network. You can go ahead and chime in on that. And we'll be bringing this back up because it's going to be interesting. And as we get closer to the holidays, we'll be talking more about this. But it'll be really interesting this year if people are going to be ordering more, doing the click and just having it delivered to their home or wanting to get out in the crowds,
And stuff's going to sell out. So people should be shopping today, not waiting for Black Friday.
I'm noticing that already. Well, we hear about it all the time with the whole shipping dilemma and everything else. So, we'll have to catch up on this with our next guest, which I'm very excited about. Let's do our little drum roll. We still don't have our drum. I said he was shipping it to us. It's probably stuck. So Susan Feldman is with us tonight. Here she comes. There she is.
Hey, everybody.
How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for having me. I'm so happy to be here. And that green room, woohoo. Thank you for letting me sit back there for a while.
I know. I'm telling you, the caviar, there was champagne.
Yeah, I kind of like the champagne. The champagne, a little bubbly doesn't hurt anybody.
And the swag. Let's just be honest. The swag.
I mean, they talk about the swag bag you get on the Ellen show, but it doesn't even come close to this.
I know. I'm telling you, there's something about the green room. So we are so happy that you are here with us and you're spending a little time out. We'll send you back there in a little while, but we want to hear all about Getting the Groove. Susan, you are amazing. You're just look at that. Kristen was involved with, it Getting in the Groove?
Yeah, we had a great event in DC that she was very instrumental in making happen. And as a thank you, we gave her our gorgeous cashmere sweater from Lingua Franca that has our name on it.
Oh, how cool is that? I think it's so amazing. Yeah. I love your site. I love your story. Talk about, you're the founder of One Kings Lane. You founded that brand. And just take us through that, because, I have Fearless on too, because I just think you're a badass. You're just fearless. You do it all.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate that. I don't know how badass I am, but I'm having fun.
Yes.
I'm a late bloomer entrepreneur. I worked in the fashion business for the majority of my career. And we moved out to California about 16 years ago. I still was working in the fashion business, but I was feeling a little restless and I was really into my house. We bought a home and I was really into that. And I was frustrated. I couldn't find what I wanted online. And so I came up with this idea for One Kings Lane. I did have a partner. Allie Pincus was my co-founder who decided to go in with me on this idea. And so at 53 in 2009, I was 53, and it was back in 2009 at the height of the recession, a really crazy time to start a business, but it has a lot of benefits too. We launched One Kings Lane, and it was just one of those really special things. It took off like right out of the box. So we were really fortunate, and it was an amazing experience. And 7 years later, we sold it to Bed Bath & Beyond. So
is that where it was? That's amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they've already sold it though.
They already sold it. Wow.
Yeah, that's the way the investment world works. But we sold it to them in 2016. They had some issues and whatever. It's a whole other story. But they sold it to a private equity group, I think a year or two, I guess a couple of years ago. COVID has my timeline so messed up.
Isn't it? I know. I can't even. Yeah, it's so true. I think it's really interesting. You said something about, having a co-founder and founding this business with a friend. And I find that is it's certainly what we're doing here with Meant for More. And I feel that collaborative spirit that women have, at a certain age, it just really comes full circle. And it's amazing when you partner on things.
Yeah, it's funny. I wasn't something that I came to not later in life. All throughout my career, I always felt like I had sort of a partner in crime, whatever I was doing. If I was head of a sales and marketing organization, there was somebody running merchandising. I just always felt like I had a partner. And so the idea of starting something on my own was a little daunting. And also I had certain skill sets and I didn't have others. It turned out Allie, who, by the way, that's a whole other story. We literally met and 6 weeks later decided to partner. Like it wasn't an old friend or something like that. Yeah. I said, I've had two great blind dates in my life, Bob Feldman and Allie Pincus.
I love it. I love it.
So it worked out. But, part of the reason that it did work out, I think we were like-minded, but we really, our skill sets really complemented each other. We, whatever I was good at, Allie was good at the other things. And, I think even from how we looked at things and thought about things and our style of, management it all kind of fit nicely together. We really did complement each other. And I don't think I could have done it I know I couldn't have done it without her. Like it was really, it was a lot to do, and we definitely needed two of us.
I love it. I love it. And, there's that whole thing about blind spots. I feel that, Kristen and I are partners. We have another business partner, and there's certain things that we do well, and we kind of balance things out, and when we make it work. And I love that about women. I really feel that that's a real strength that we have, especially as we get older. Let's talk about In the Groove, because you're celebrating 3 years. Yes, can you stand up and show? Can you sport your look at this?
This is a collaboration we did with this really cool company. It's a company called A Story, like make your story. A Story. It's ASTOURI. It's a design company out of Detroit, Michigan. And we did these really fabulous kimonos that The whole theme of it was age boldly. So this one you can see says the secret of life, and there's a big blank there, so you can fill in the blank, whatever your secret of life is. And then you can see on the screen, there's one that has graffiti and it's got really great words on it. The whole thing is about how to age boldly. So these are really fun and bold kimonos that come long and short. They're really versatile. The reason that we did this is I own a kimono that I got someplace many years ago. And every time I wear it, people stop me. And I realized this is like such a fun piece. Like I feel like everybody needs something like this in their wardrobe, because you can throw it over a pair of jeans. Like I have it on with jeans and a t-shirt today. I could wear it out to dinner over a black dress. You can dress it up, dress it down. It's amazing to travel with. It rolls up, it doesn't wrinkle. And, it's a great finishing piece and a real statement maker. So, anyway, we felt that was very much reflective of who we are and our community and everything. So we just launched this. It's available on our website. I think you guys have the link for it. And like I said, it does come long and short. So if you're short, Amy, you can still have one.
Yes. Oh, I love to hear that. I'm ordering one of those. I think that is so fun. And you could rock that over a black dress or.
Oh yeah. I mean, it literally is the most versatile thing that I have in my closet. And, and I think people stop you and they're like, oh, wow, what does that mean? What does that say? It's like, it's just a fun conversation piece. So, So, and anyway, now you guys are scrolling through. This is our website, getinthegroove.com. It's a lifestyle platform. I started it 3 years ago, as you mentioned, because when I left One Kings Lane, I kind of re-engaged with a lot of friends and colleagues that were in my demographic. And I just found that what I was hearing from people, well, the word invisible kept coming up a lot. And people feeling irrelevant came up a lot. And I was like, wow, that's so interesting. I wasn't feeling that way, but I thought, well, if there's a lot of women that are feeling that way, who is speaking to us, digitally? And so when I did research, I found there really wasn't a lot out there. I mean, AARP's out there, which is fantastic. But, as I always say, my 92-year-old mother loves it. It's not really, it doesn't speak to me. And I feel, our generation of women we're really forging the way for generations behind us, because the generation before us was so different. Like my mom's generation was completely different than, how we are today. We're healthier, we're wealthier, we're more engaged. We're not stopping. There is no expiration date, even though I feel like, we've been treated that way a little bit.
Right.
And so I wanted to do something that felt fun and modern, and we didn't take ourselves so seriously, and would be informative and just have a great time with it. But, I guess the big picture is like, maybe we can help change the conversation around ageism, but on a day-to-day basis, we're not doing things that are that serious. We're making recommendations for fashion and beauty and health and wellness and having a good time.
Kristen, I have a question. I'm so excited about your kimono campaign because I recognize so many of the women. And how did you select the women that you used for the campaign?
So, I thought it was really important that we show this collection on women, like us. And so really just through friends and then networking. This is like the third time that I've done this. And every time I do it, it's really a networking thing. I start with a couple of people that I know that I think would be great. And then I ask people if they have friends or friends. And we even had Maya Wiley in the campaign. She ran for mayor of New York. I mean, that was kind of cool. And maybe people remember Kay Unger, who was an amazing dress designer and now heads up Parsons board. I mean, there were some really fantastic women that were, there's so many, it's like a lot, but really cool women that are definitely aging boldly.
Aging boldly. I love it. So Get in the Groove. You have to check it out. We'll have the link in the comments.
Yes,
so you can go and you can. It's got such a great variety of things. And you have to follow them on Instagram as well. And Susan, what a delight! I mean, you're just doing so many great things, and you just keep forging ahead and making an impact and a difference and inspiring. And that's what it's about.
Thank you. Thank you.
So,
Well, I hope I see everybody at getinthegroup.com. Sign up for our newsletter. It's fun. I actually had somebody tell me today they look forward to getting our email, which is
really? Okay, that is
all the
huge.
time from people. They're like, I wait for your email to come. It's
Exactly. Oh, I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
Well, Susan, thank you so much for joining us. We never have enough time. And people are going to be checking it out. You got to think about that, love it or hate it for Black Friday.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah.
Think about that.
It serves a purpose, but don't forget there's Cyber Monday too.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
So, well, thank you so much, Susan. We're gonna transport you back into that green room and bring you out a little bit later.
Okay,
so,
sounds good.
So
bye, everybody. Nice to see you.
How cool is Susan, huh? I mean,
she's so cool. She really is cool. Like you definitely want to be in Susan's tribe.
Yep, exactly. Amazing. And I mean, I love everything. I mean, I peruse the site all the time because there's so many great things on there. She has a menopause section. She has, it's all about style. She does great Instagram lives too. I saw her a week ago. I was going to mention that she was going through her closet and like trying on, old blazers and things like that and what still works and what doesn't. And she's just a wealth of knowledge. So it's such a pleasure to have her. And I hope that we'll have her back. She's amazing. So, well, our next guest this is just going to be fun. I got to say, this is going to be fun. Good thing my husband is home because he's going to be hearing a lot about the V word. And we talk a lot about the M word, menopause, but tonight we're talking with the vagina coach. I mean, we could probably be banned on Facebook right now for saying that, right?
Oh my God. Amy?
Chrissy, we couldn't play that pivot video from Friends, remember, for whatever. So hopefully we're not going to get thrown out for saying the V word. But anyway, a drum roll for our next guest, the amazing Kim Vopni. There she is. Kim. How's the green room treating you?
The green room is, I was enjoying listening to Susan and thinking about what kimono I'm going to order.
Oh, I know. I think those are going to be lighting up tonight. I think so. I think we're all, and I love that they have a shorter version. Because, we had on, who did we have on, Kristen, that we were talking about altering clothes to fit us properly? Somebody. I don't know. Maybe it was Allison. It might have been Allison Lombatis, but we were talking about
Allison Lombatis. And
tailoring something. So I'd love to hear that there's one for a little bit more petite people. So that's wonderful. So Kim Vopni, welcome. Look at that gorgeous picture of you.
Thanks. It's the photographer. he puts me in the right poses.
I have to say, Kim and I met in Clubhouse, and it was love at first listen. We actually followed each other around Clubhouse for a while. And then I don't know about you, Kim. I got a little burnt out and I had to step away.
Yeah.
But Kim is forever the vagina expert, and the vagina coach. And I have been so enlightened because this is a topic that doesn't get brought up nearly enough. And when I had my son 33 years ago, and I have struggled with, let's just face it, if you sneeze or cough at the wrong time, that can be a cross your legs situation. And that's been 33 years. So nobody ever suggested to me that I might need to see a pelvic floor specialist. The first time I heard it was from Kim, the vagina coach in Clubhouse.
I love it. So Kim, talk to us about this because you know what, and please, anybody that's listening right now, please put in the comments, or if you want to reach out to Kim, we'll have all of this information out there. I know this is a topic that, this is what we love to do on this show, is talk about these types of topics that really are opening the dialogue about things that we really, really struggle with and we want to learn more about. So let's talk about, so many women suffer with incontinence issues, or, like Kristen was saying, you sneeze and and you can joke about it, but it really is a serious issue and it can really affect confidence. So walk us through some things we can do.
Yeah. And then you brought up a great point too, that, we might get banned from Facebook, and that's part of the challenge and why it's so hard for people to understand and get access to this information, is because vagina is considered an inappropriate word. And so we face these barriers along the way. But anyway, that's another rant for another day. But the pelvic floor is this really important group of muscles that I'm incredibly passionate about. I've been preaching about it for about 17 years. And my intention initially, I started trying to help pregnant women prepare for birth in a way that they would have the information they needed so that they were less likely to have birth injuries. They would be able to recover postpartum. And then anyway, long story short, it kind of went through it. And I recognized that this is a conversation that has to happen through all life stages. And midlife is a time where if we've maybe had a few little naggy symptoms along the way, they will often start to scream at us a little bit louder once we reach midlife. Or it could be the time where these things show up for the first time. And you mentioned peasing, sneeze pee, some people call it. That's incontinence. And we think of the term incontinence is usually, oh, well, that's just people that are in nursing homes. But if urine is coming out of your body when you don't want it to, then that is incontinence. And it happens to young people. It happens to young, fit people. It can happen to people who've never given birth or been pregnant before. It can happen to anybody. And I think that there's a misconception.
Men too.
Yes, absolutely. So because I'm a vagina coach, I don't specialize in the men, but yes, absolutely. Men can experience, they have a pelvic floor, they have a pelvis and we are at greater risk because of things like all the hormone fluctuations that we have, because we can give birth. Basically, those are two major contributors to some of the challenges. But what I want people to know is peasing, sneeze pee, light bladder leakage, whatever you call it, it is stress urinary incontinence is the proper term. It's very common. It's very, very treatable. You do not need to accept pads as your destiny. You don't need to suffer in silence with it. And we have statistics that it's about 6.5 to 7 years that people wait to actually go and get help. And
I think don't you think that's because people just don't want to talk about it? Women don't, it's not something that comes up at book club, let's be honest, or when we're out for a glass of wine, I think some women are really embarrassed about it.
And it's also something that when you finally do go to your healthcare provider, a lot of people I hear all the time are dismissed. Oh, well, what do you expect after you having babies? Oh, well, you're in midlife. That's just what happens. Right. Go home and do your Kegel exercises. And we deserve a lot better than that. And there's so many more options available to us.
So is it true, Kim, that, you were mentioning about menopause or perimenopause? So hormone fluctuations definitely make a difference. Why is that?
Estrogen declining. So within our pelvis, within the walls of the vagina, the best description I've ever heard is if you can imagine our vagina is usually like a pleated skirt. It's got lots of folds in it. It's very supple. It can expand and contract as it needs to. And that's because we have a lot of circulating estrogen. There's a lot of estrogen receptors. And when we no longer have circulating estrogen, those folds start to thin, flatten out. The walls become a little bit narrower and it becomes more like a pencil skirt. So this is like a pleated skirt and here is the pencil skirt. And a lot of that is really from estrogen. So when we know ahead of time that is coming up, we can make choices with regards to foods that we eat, potentially hormone replacement therapy. There's other non-hormonal therapies that we can use that help replace and replenish that lost circulating estrogen that can help us maintain the pleated skirt so we're not dealing with the pencil skirt.
Wow. So it really is. There are things we can do. I mean, we always hear the word Kegels, right? How many times have we heard that? Do your Kegels when you're sitting at a stoplight, do your Kegels. I mean, I've heard that forever. There is a way to really build back that muscle.
Yeah. So the estrogen is kind of a tissue piece. So we have a tissue side of things where hormones can influence it. We also have a muscular piece. We have between 13 and 15 muscles within the pelvic floor, depending on how you name them. There's 3 different layers of them. They have all these important jobs. And Kegels are one type of pelvic floor exercise. And we do have research that they can be absolutely effective when they're done correctly. But so often people are just told, do your Kegels, or you're given a pamphlet and it's this elusive, elusive exercise. And then people they think they're doing them. And then when somebody finally tells them, they're like, oh my God, I've been doing them wrong my whole life, or I've been doing opposite. So over 50% of women are doing Kegels incorrectly and it's not their fault. And then they think that they don't work because they haven't been doing them correctly. And the other layer I think that's missing on that is usually, you said it yourself, where you've been told to do Kegels at every red light. So that's a stationary, static position. And when do leaks happen? Not when I'm sitting at a red light. They happen when I'm picking something up, when I'm exercising, when I'm coughing or sneezing. So if we don't train the pelvic floor dynamically, we're missing a huge element of effectiveness. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow.
And Amy, has anybody ever suggested you go to a pelvic floor therapist?
Never heard of it. Never
Right.
heard of it. You know, it's interesting because we have a great guest. I'm so excited for you to meet Aubrey too tonight. But you know, it's interesting because I had Aubrey recently on the podcast that's going to drop in a couple of weeks, and we were talking about Europeans, and I lived in Europe for a while. And one thing, I think they have fewer incontinence issues in Europe because they really talk about this issue there. I mean, I don't know if this is true. And if people are watching in France, or if there's some French people watching tonight, please correct me if I'm wrong. But I do believe that after they give birth in France, they're given some sort of a device that as they're nursing their new baby and learning how to do that, there's actually a device that's strengthening those pelvic muscles, those, you know, everything around the vagina. And they have less incontinence. I mean, we just have, you know, it's really a shame that we haven't been better educated, I guess, about it.
Yeah, it's true. So France, it's true. They have biofeedback. They're also given pelvic floor physiotherapy appointments paid for by the government. And why is that not something that we do globally? And so pelvic health physiotherapists, or physical therapists, as they're called in the United States, they have additional training to be able to evaluate and treat beyond the entrance to the vagina. And it is nothing like a Pap test. And people walk away, like they go in a little bit like, oh, I'm a little bit unsure of this. And they come out thinking, oh my gosh, how have I lived for 45, 55, 70 years in this body? And I never knew this. I've never known that about myself, or what have you. And it puts the power back in your hands. We are always outsourcing so much. And when we can take back control and not have to buy pads, and not have to say no to social outings, and not have to plan our life around our bladder and bowel habits, we get our life back. We can live so much more fully. And so many people are suffering in silence. And that is, I'm not okay with that. So that's my mission.
That's your mission. I love it. And it's so empowering for women to hear that, you know, it is, it's just, that's what we need to hear. And I know that people are all taking this and listening, because there's not as many people coming with questions. I'm sure they're thinking, how can I get in touch with Kim? You know, because I just think it's one of those subjects that, you know, we talk about menopause now, and we talk about that openly. And this is a topic we really need to discuss. So I think we have 3 tips that Kim has put forward, and we got to circle back to Susan, because I forgot to go through that graphic of her 3 tips, but 3 tips to strengthen the pelvic floor muscles. See a pelvic floor physical therapist.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And I think that people should be doing that once a year. So we've been conditioned from a young age to brush our teeth twice a day, floss, go see a dentist once or twice a year for a checkup. And we go even if we have no toothache or symptoms or concerns. And I think we should do the same thing with our pelvic floor. So even if you have no symptoms, please go. You have a vagina and you go through hormonal fluctuations. You most likely have been pregnant and maybe even given birth at some point in your life. See a pelvic floor physical therapist. That's always my number 1 tip.
Do you just Google that?
Yeah, you can Google pelvic floor physical therapy in your city. You can also go to, in the United States, pelvicguru.com. It's a fairly global directory. The American Physical Therapy Association. If you're in Canada, the Canadian Physical Therapy Association. But I always have people start, just Google pelvic floor physical or physiotherapy. And if you can't find anybody, message me, because I also belong to a couple of different private groups, and I can always ask for somebody who might be in a more remote area.
Amazing. Thank you for that. Practice the core breath daily. Now, I know Kristen is she just talked to me about breathing the other day. She is an expert around breathing too. So tell me about this, practice the core breath. What is that exactly?
Yeah. So essentially, when I was learning more about pelvic floor exercise and about Kegel exercises, I was also understanding and appreciating the relationship between the diaphragm and the pelvic floor. So there's this synergistic relationship that happens all the time. And when we incorporate the breath into a Kegel exercise, it becomes way more powerful. And we actually get more benefit from the relaxation and the release part that nobody really focuses on. So I have a video on my YouTube channel that is called Core Breath. If you go to YouTube and put vagina coach in, you'll find it. There's a whole playlist on Kegels, and the core breath is always my foundational exercise. That's where everybody starts. And then we layer it into movement.
Fabulous. Okay. So great. So we will link everything. We'll have that in here. I say link, I'm so used to podcast verbiage, but we will have everything in the comments for you to follow Kim and learn more about that and strengthen your glutes. Okay. I love that one.
Yeah. So
that's all connected.
It's all connected. The glutes are, first of all, there's some fascia, like connective tissue that we have when we are activating our glutes. It actually tensions some of the fascia that goes around into our core and can help even with our midsection. It also helps keep our sacrum, which is our at the base of the sacrum, we have our tailbone. It keeps that kind of pulled out from under us. And it's very common for especially women who have been pregnant to have very flat glutes. If you start looking around at women, they often have kind of their pelvis is tucked under almost, and they have their backside looks a little bit flatter. And a lot of that is from the adaptations that happened while we were pregnant, but it can also happen to people who sit a lot or who sit very tucked a lot. We lose the mass and the activation within our glutes, and that can also contribute to pelvic floor dysfunction. So when we strengthen our glutes and pay attention to our posture, it improves our pelvic health as well.
Amazing. Okay.
And I just have to say, I wish I had this information 30 years ago. So we need to talk about the fact that our daughters need to know about this. And because we're not getting it through our traditional medical health care, nobody's ever suggested, pelvic floor physical therapist. We need everybody listening to this needs to share this information with their daughters and nieces and granddaughters, because this is really important. This is a quality of life issue.
Yes, 1,000%. And to make that easier, if there's a books section on my website, and I've written a few books, there's one free copy on there. It's called The Inside Story, and you can download that for free. And it's kind of it's a little summary, and it also gives a bunch of shared tips from other pelvic health professionals around the world. And the other one, Your Pelvic Floor, that one I launched in March, and that one it's a much more comprehensive. So either one of those, please buy it, read it, and then pay it forward. Give it to somebody else and have that make its way through your network. It will really transform people's lives.
Oh, Kim, I love this. Thank you so much. So much great information. It's funny because when we talked about having you on, Kristen is the one that said, you've got to have Kim on. So this has just been, and there's so much more to talk about. And so, we've got it. So does it get worse as you get older, even if you don't have children? Kelly's got a question.
Yeah. So if you are experiencing incontinence, it's not something that will improve with time. And also vaginal dryness. Over 80% of us will experience vaginal dryness when we hit menopause. And that is also not something that improves with time. So please do not accept it. Don't sit and suffer. Get some help. Pelvic floor physical therapy. You can also reach out to me and I would be happy to guide you.
Thank you so much, Kim. We're going to have you back in the new year because we've got some exciting things happening in 2022.
Awesome.
Which we're really
I'm looking forward to it. Thank you so much.
And we would love to have you back because this is just a topic that there's so much more. And if you follow Kim on Instagram and she just puts it all out there, your transparency is great. And you make it feel comfortable and you make us feel empowered. And I can't believe that 50% of people are doing Kegels wrong. I've been doing them wrong this whole time. It's so true. How many times have I been told to do them at a red light? I can't tell you. I mean, so many times.
Right.
Yeah.
Nobody's telling you do them while you're cooking dinner. You're going to cook dinner every night. Do 100 Kegels.
Kim, thank you so much. We're going to whisk you back to the green room. Go back and enjoy that time and connect with Susan, and we'll bring you back out in a little bit. But thank you so much. This is so helpful.
You're welcome. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye, Kim.
Amazing.
Right? Mind blown.
Mind blown. Yeah, exactly. And I think that there is, it's just one of those topics. And that's why we love what we're doing because, it opens that dialogue. And I don't think we've been banned yet from Facebook. So I'll say vagina. I remember when my son at, whatever age, he was becoming mature when he could say the word penis without laughing. That was the Schmidt.
I'm laughing.
Yeah, I know.
Still
I know.
laugh when
He's
somebody
like,
says,
"Mom, I'm mature now because I can say that." Well, at what, almost 52, I can say vagina, and I feel empowered when I say it because we need to be sharing all of this stuff. It's just such great information. Mind blowing, mind blowing. Well, we are transitioning into one of my favorite segments.
oh, wait, let me get my apron.
I know. I'm so excited. And we still have another fantastic guest coming up, but we tried to put cooking in the middle because we're breaking it up a little bit. Oh, you got a new apron on. Look at that. Oh,
So this apron actually has my name on it.
I love it.
We had a French exchange student, and she brought me this as a gift from Normandy.
You know, if you have interesting aprons, please put it in the comments because we talk about this every week. You know, I have a variety of aprons. Some are hanging on the door back there. Some older ones, some of my mom's old ones. I think each of my sisters each has some of my mom's. So if you have interesting aprons, send us a picture. Put it in the Men for More Network Facebook group because we love to talk about, you know, just aprons are something special. There's something special about them.
And I actually collect old aprons. I love those good, the half ones that you could wear like with your black dress when you're having a cocktail party. Yeah.
I love it.
Barbara, I'm glad you love that. Kim Vopni's amazing. She's really
going to come back on in the new year. Yeah. Just amazing. Just amazing.
So,
well,
I've got to ask you, how's your eating plan going?
It's amazing. I have to say I'm 10 days in today. You know,
Okay.
I'm on a 42-day challenge right now. I'm about to leave, though, to go on a little boondoggle with some friends this weekend. But my eating, you know, it's funny. I don't think it was my eating, what I was eating. I wasn't eating enough of the right things, and I wasn't keeping my, you know, blood sugar and things like that. But I'm feeling great, and I have been no alcohol since the first of the month. Might be a little difficult this weekend. And Hello Water's been, and my alkaline water from Hello Water has been amazing. If Tom's watching tonight, and so many people have reached out to me about Hello Water from having him on the show with the alkaline water. It's amazing. So thank you for asking. I'm feeling great, and I'm 10 days in, and you know, I think I'm sleeping better. I have great energy. It's pretty even during the day and staying well hydrated.
And I think everybody wants that. Everybody wants to have more energy, but they want their meals to be delicious. So delicious and easy and healthy. So in the spirit of that, this is one of my favorite recipes. It is oven roasted cherry tomatoes. And what I like about this is cherry tomatoes are available all year long. And they can make a great base for cooking fish or shrimp. They make a great topping to put on top of chicken. So I'm just going to kind of I'm going to show you what's going on down here.
Oh, what's going on down
here?
We've already gotten away from that subject of what's going on down there. Just
all
kidding.
right. Yeah. All right. So this is so simple. I literally bought some cherry tomatoes.
Yep.
I chopped some garlic and some shallots. I've got some herbs, but I am going to add my herbs after I cook the tomatoes because I don't want the herbs to just kind of get cooked to smithereens. So I took my cherry tomatoes. I put some olive oil on them, some salt, some pepper, some chopped garlic, some chopped shallots. And this is what we've got. They cooked up beautifully. Now I'm going to put my herbs in a bowl, my fresh herbs. Now, if you're cooking them, you can use, you know, if you don't have fresh herbs, and sometimes that's the case, just go ahead and use dried herbs. And when you use the dried herbs, you can use it when you're actually, before you put it in the oven. Okay, so there's my cherry tomatoes. Oh my God, my house smells so amazing. I'm just gonna toss them a little bit here with the herbs. And then I just sauteed a chicken breast in a pan with a little bit of olive oil. And this makes, look at this. How delicious is that? That's just a perfect little dinner.
And it is easy. I made it. I can't even, I mean, you are really getting me out of my box with cooking. I'm trying so much harder. And Kristen challenged me. She said, why don't you make this? And I did, and we ate it tonight. We put it over chicken, but I goofed. And what I goofed on, and here's the recipe. And remember, if you go to the Meant for More Network Facebook group, the recipes are always on there. We'll also have them on our meantformoreevents.com website. So make sure you're signing up to be a VIP so you get access to all of this information. Every week, Kristen has a mind-blowing, easy-peasy recipe. This I made. I put the herbs in and cooked them. I did basil, and I put them in the oven, and I shouldn't have done that. I should have done it afterwards.
Well, and you can do it either way. They're delicious either way. I kind of like the fresh herbs. I like to keep them fresh, so you get a little more of the, herbs are our original culinary pharmacy. So we get all these health benefits. So we don't want to kind of cook the fresh herbs to death if we can help it. But if we're using dried herbs, it's great to just cook them with it. Simple recipe, delicious. And I mean, hello, if I got that in a restaurant, I would be happy. Serve it with a little salad, maybe some vegetables.
Yeah. And my son tonight, I had some mozzarella in the fridge. So he sliced a little mozzarella, put it with the chicken. I mean, it was easy. Anybody can do this, and it's so healthy and it's so good for you. So, I mean, it's fun to do something like this and present it. And you're changing my life in the kitchen. So I love it. Thank you.
This is just food assembly, and eating is a 21st century survival skill. So we've really got to learn how to feed ourselves, and we've got to teach our kids how to make these simple, delicious foods so that they don't think they have to buy prepared foods, that they can actually cook for themselves.
My daughter and a roommate, I know, are trying all these recipes. They love to cook, and something like that is easy for them to do when they get home from work, pop it in their oven. And super simple. So thank you for sharing these awesome Kristen in the Kitchen every week. And we'll be expanding on this and doing so much more in the new year. So just stay tuned. But go ahead and try that. And then, let us know and send us some pictures. We love to see pictures of have we gotten any banana peel ones?
Any of the banana peel tea or the banana mug muffin?
No, I think we got some banana mug muffin. I don't know, but you got to go back and check them all out because they're so easy, and they're so healthy. I love it. So thank you, Kristen. Always so fun. All right. Well, now I have to take off the apron because we still have another fabulous guest. And I'm so proud of us because we're getting back on, we wrap the show in an hour. So it's a lot. We do a lot in an hour, but I'm so excited for this guest. And Kristen, I don't think you've met her except for backstage. So drum roll. She's been back in the green room for a while. I hope she's not sipping too much champagne. Aubrey Hubble, come out and join us.
Hello.
There she is. Oh my gosh. So how's the green room?
Amazing. I've had way too much bubbly.
That's what happens with the third segment, the third guest, the fourth segment, I guess. I mean,
it was entertaining.
So excited to have you here. And Susan, which is so fabulous.
Yes.
And I know she was just at an event of yours, your launch. And now you've gotten to know Kim, who I thought would just be a wonderful, we both thought it'd be a wonderful connection for you. So Aubrey Hubble is one of the founders of a company called Hazel. And it's a little teaser to what's going to be on the podcast next week. But I interviewed Aubrey, I guess it was a couple of weeks ago. And you just blow me away. You are so smart and articulate and are launching a brand that is going to make a difference for so many women. So why don't you tell us about it?
Yeah. So Hazel is a luxe, innovative femme care brand for the ever-evolving woman. We just launched our site. So it's a new brand at hellohazel.com. And our hero product is the High and Dry Brief, a really chic, super, it's a high-waisted, disposable brief for leaks. So all those moments where we sneeze, cough, and leak. And it's all based on kind of all those conversations that we've been hearing women experience when they're younger, whether it's around periods and sex and pregnancy, infertility or postpartum. Something that I saw was that the conversations kind of stopped when it came to the experiences we were having later in life, sometimes postpartum all the way through menopause, as we've talked about. And we recognized that there were really only to products in the market that were really bad. They look like baby diapers, and women deserve better. So we developed a product, as you see here, that is that high-waisted disposable brief. It absorbs just as much as kind of your legacy brand, but it looks really cute under leggings.
Exactly. It's so amazing. It looks great under leggings, and it makes us feel confident. And just the packaging, Kristen, I don't think you've seen this yet, but isn't the packaging amazing?
I love it. Yeah. I love it.
Just the aesthetic, and and I think what I love, we love to share the story behind the brand. And one of the questions that I asked Aubrey was, Aubrey is I think 30. You're a young woman. You've had this amazing career, being involved with brands for women, and you decided, you had a conversation with your mom, and I asked her this question, and I think Kristen and I, both having daughters, what did your mom say when you said, "This is what I'm going to do"?
Yeah, I think I mentioned when you asked me that, my mom's going through menopause right now, so it hit home. She was just really excited that, I've kind of growing up, she always taught me, like, just don't go with what everyone else is doing. And so to start a company that is considered taboo it made sense to me. Maybe everyone else doesn't want to do that, but for me, it was an opportunity to build something that's really serving a group of women that have been so underserved and overlooked. And so she was proud and excited, and she's been helping me every step of the way with feedback, and all her friends know about it, and kind of expanded from there. They've all been testing the product and giving me feedback. So
it's just, I just think it's such a cool story. I told Kristen that, and she has 2 daughters. I have 1, and we thought, what a cool thing. I mean, it's amazing, and just how it's going to transform women's lives is and you're really digging into a market that a lot of women your age would say, oh, that doesn't matter. They're not that important, but you're doing it. And I just think that's incredible.
Thank you. Yeah. I kind of said with, all the conversations happening with my friends, I think it's so important that those conversations continue. And there's so much fear around kind of what it means to be a woman at that stage of life in your 50s, 60s, and 70s. As we know, as you two know, it's such a powerful time in your life. And that's the part of the story we want to tell. We want to spotlight women and show the amazing things that they're doing, that, like we were talking earlier about kind of the stereotype of the women that experience leaks. In reality, she's not in a nursing home. She's doing marathons, and she's doing that cycling class. And that's really, this is to support her to really do all the things that she wants to.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm going to raise my hand, and learning from Kim tonight too. I mean, it's so amazing, but like going to the gym and doing jumping jacks, or, climbing on those, if you're doing a CrossFit class or something, you have to jump off of something. There's so many women that hesitate to do that, or they're wearing a product that feels bulky and uncomfortable and makes them feel yucky. We don't.
Well, I can tell you, I am not getting on a trampoline anytime soon.
Yeah.
Maybe if I send you a pair of Hazel briefs.
Exactly. I know.
And these are issues that do affect women at all ages.
Yeah.
Because, as you mentioned, when you have your period, there's a concern about, leaking. I can remember one time going to Mexico, and I had one pair of white pants. And of course I got my period as soon as I got there, and I could barely, make it from my room to the bar, and there were no options, like this. There were no elegant options that would have allowed me to confidently go on that vacation and be able to, go to the bar and not worry that I was going to find myself in a really embarrassing situation. So good on you, Aubrey. This is every woman listening at whatever age. I can't wait to send my daughter some of these. I'm going to order some for myself, and I'm going to get some from my girls.
Yeah, and they're beautiful, and they're elegant, and it's a subscription service, so you can order as many as you need. They're disposable. And they come in this cool little package that, is discreet. So if you have it in your handbag or, something like that, you have some there. Oh yeah. And the color, I mean, I just love hazel, because to me, it's just, and just the whole packaging, it's just so feminine and beautiful. And I just am so proud of what you're doing. And at such a young age, I just think it's a very cool brand, and I'm 100% a big fan. And so when will it be available for everybody?
So it's up now at hellohazel.com. And if you want to try it for free, we have a special offer, hellohazel.com/free trial. And we'll send you 2 briefs. So because you're ordering online, size is tricky. So you can choose 2 different sizes or the 2 of the same sizes. And we'll sneak in a couple of Hazel wipes in there too. And that'll be for free. And then you just pay for shipping.
That's fabulous. One thing we were really curious about with launching a brand and how you've been involved with other companies in launching brands, it's a fear that a lot of women have. And some people listening and watching tonight are probably thinking, wow, how did she do that? So Chrissy, if you have those tips that Audrey has for, launching, really what it was like to kind of put fear aside and say, okay, I'm going to go forward with this. I'm going to launch something, a brand. So you said talk to the user first and don't assume that the product should be, and continue getting feedback throughout the process. You did a lot of market research, didn't you?
Yeah, this was not done alone or in a silo. Since these women have been so ignored for so long, it was so important to me that we included her from the very beginning. So we talked to thousands of women and did surveys and focus groups and one-on-one interviews to make sure that every single detail was exactly as she wanted it. So down to the product having a control top, the details mattered, the packaging, making sure it was something that where we heard from her that she loved her beauty supplies. She liked those to be on the shelf. Anyone could see those. We wanted to challenge, instead of these products being hidden behind the cleaning supplies like they are today, we wanted it to look like her beauty supplies. And so that's where the inspiration came from. So really making sure that she was heard through the entire process. And that's important no matter what business you're building, that even if it's a product for yourself, that you're listening to the end consumer, because you're so biased as when you're building. So making sure you're talking to the consumer.
Yeah, great point. And you said, things rarely go as planned. I can raise my hand to that, right? Yes. Kristen, do you? I mean, things rarely go as planned, and you have to, change things up and recalibrate. So I love that you put that on there when, you're thinking about starting a business or launching a brand. And you also said about when starting something new, the sky's the limit, and push your boundaries. And I'm sure you've had to do that.
Yeah. I mean, flexibility and just kind of rolling with the punches was so key. We invented our product from scratch, and product development is crazy, especially during a pandemic. So teaching a manufacturer how to make a product over Zoom and, building an entire team and launch dates, and just having to kind of just be open. And because if you stressed every time something didn't work, you wouldn't last. So just making sure that you're flexible, and then thinking outside the box is really about, like I mentioned with our product, there's such a shame and stigma even around just the packaging. So instead of kind of going down your pharmacy aisle and getting inspiration of what everything else looks like, think about fashion and art and food, and what are all the other things that your consumer appreciates, and where can you find inspiration? So those are my tips for kind of just building something new and jumping in.
I love it. I love it. Thank you, Aubrey, so much. Hello, Hazel. Hazel, it's hellohazel.com. It's Hazel. They also on Instagram, you've got a great giveaway now. We just had Jill Angelo on last week. So, we've had Stacey London. So, I mean, you've partnered with a whole group for a great giveaway. That's like $300 value, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So you can go ahead and follow on Instagram. I think we can put that up in the comments too. Is it Hello Hazel or just Hazel on Instagram?
It's at hellohazel_.
Perfect. So check that out. And, you tag somebody and you get entered in a fantastic giveaway. So how cool has this hour been? If all of our guests are still back there, if we can bring them out, we never have enough time. The hour goes like that. Look at this. It's always like the Brady Bunch.
We're having a party.
Yeah. How awesome was this hour? I mean, just amazing women and doing incredible things. And I don't know, it's the best part of my week.
It is so, I'm like sitting here mind blown, I love the way everything ties together. You know, we've got the pelvic floor health. We've got a sense of style, but we have a sense of style with issues that are very important to women from a pelvic floor perspective. So this was just a really great hour.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for being here and for watching everywhere you're watching. And we so appreciate your feedback and your comments. And, make sure you follow everybody on here, because I think that's the power that women have is, when we network and we come together, that's when the magic happens. And, relationships form, and, you just never know. So I just want to thank everybody. Susan Feldman, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
For all you do for inspiring women. And Kim Vopni, amazing. So much more to talk about and learn. And I'm sure we're all, I can't wait to learn more. And Aubrey, just kudos to you for what you're doing, and wish you all the best. And you'll have to tune into the podcast, Fearlessly Facing 50. I think it drops next week, Aubrey. It's a great episode. And I'm just really proud of you. I think you're doing amazing things. And Kristen, thanks for always putting me in the kitchen.
And sign up at Meant for More to be a VIP, so that you find out who's going to be on the show. You get all of our discount codes, because all of our wonderful guests are very generous with their giveaways and their discount codes. So we want to make sure you're in the know.
And we also have brands that support us every week, and we are so grateful to them. And so make sure you go and check it out, and you can go back to last week's show. Everything is always on the Facebook page. I know it's being streamed live on their pages as well tonight. So thank you, ladies, for joining, and we'll be back next week. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.